What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Appreciate you tuning in. So I want to talk to you about one of the biggest things that people neglect when they are trying to get leads, especially with cold outbound, cold calling, or cold email. This is the single most important thing to making everything work. If you don't do this, then you can kiss your success and hopes for spectacular results goodbye. So let's just dive straight into it. So let's just say you have everything checked off, right? You've gotten the inboxes right. You've gotten and this is for cold email specifically. So you've gotten the inboxes, you've done your warm up, you're sure that your offer is a banger offer that converts with cold traffic. You've done your targeting right. You've gone very niche, sub niche of sub niche of sub niche. Your copy is exactly tailored to exactly you're reaching out to, and you're sure that your copy is spectacular because perhaps you've just taken a template from someone who's clearly getting results, or you have just double verified it, triple verified it on your own. Let's just say you're responding really quickly and you're doing all the right things. You have your success multipliers down pat. So you have your website, landing page, it looks good, your VSL, all of this is in check. But for some reason, you're still not getting results. You followed every single thing here and you're still not getting results. One of the things that people tend to overlook that is the cause of all their problems, and I know this because I had this problem for a long time as an account executive, as a recruiter, and in building Vintascale, is they're purely just not doing enough volume. They're just not sending enough emails a day, or if it's cold calls, they're just not making enough cold calls per day. Especially if you're doing this on behalf of a client. You need to plan and set things up to where you can at least send 750 emails, preferably 1,000 emails minimum per day, per client, and for yourself as well. So you're going to have to factor that into your costs. You might have to upgrade plans for your Apify scrapers and so on and so forth. You're going to have to factor that into your Open AI, your Chat GPT bill, or whatever it is that you use, because your bill is going to be a lot higher, which is why if you can, work out a setup fee and just communicate the fact that this is for infrastructure so that you don't go under in trying to get them the results. I mean, that's what that's all for. So if you can negotiate that, that would be great. But I understand if you're a pure beginner, it's tough. If you don't have any references, it's tough. But if you're not seeing results, you just have to send more emails. I promise you, most people, and I'm trying not to make so many beginner 101 videos. I'm trying to start with like 201 kind of videos, if you know what I mean. But the issue I see with people starting out is they just don't send enough. They don't send enough, or maybe they send enough, but it's a lot of the wrong stuff. So let's just say you've worked out all the kinks now, right? You have the copy and everything else works good. You took a pretty good offer from somewhere. You have all that stuff. Most people just don't set themselves up to send enough emails. So for example, for staffing and recruitment clients, what that's going to mean to send 750 to 1,000 emails per day minimum, what that's going to mean is you have to do a lot of scraping of jobs pretty much every single day. So factoring that in, especially as a solo operator, you don't have any employees or anything like that, virtual assistants, that means you're going to have to budget your time and your calendar appropriately to scrape often and do all the personalization and all that stuff. So I'm always doing this. Like, let's just open Clay for a second. On every scrape of a particular job title, after all the filtering is done in Apollo and scraping Apify and scraping, it might cost me, I don't know, let's say 10, $20 per round per client. And you do this once a day, but plus the Chat GPT bill, you're going to factor in another, let's say $10-20 and all the personalization stuff. Like, you don't want to cheap out on this stuff, but it can cost you some money. It can start to add up, but then that's fine. If it means you can get them results, that's great. But the most important thing is the fact that you have to do this all the time. Like, to send 1,000 emails a day, you will probably very quickly run out of your total addressable market in Apollo, for example. So if staffing and recruitment is your industry, you're going to run out of that pretty quickly. of staffing and recruitment agencies that are 3 to 10 employees or 3 to 1,000 employees. You're going to run out of it very quickly. So now you're going to have to start getting creative with other industries. And the thing that stops people is they're like, okay, so they start having to scrape for new industry. And now they get this analysis paralysis of like, okay, which industry now? And where do I go? And how do I target? And the whole thing. It's just, I think how you really break to the next level is the moment when you decide to really dumb it down. And that's besides the point. Well, it does kind of tie into it because when you need when you're planning to send more emails, there's more things that you need to think about, but not really. Like you might have to think about new industries and new angles and new copy and stuff like that, but keep it simple. I think if you can make that your priority, send twice as much volume as you need. So let's just say, get it at least to a 750 to 1,000 emails a day. So if you're sending anything under 500, for sure you're not getting results. You're not getting the results that you need in order to impress a client. You're just not. I know this because I went through it. So send more emails and dumb it down. And if you can make sending more emails or just doing more outbound period, not for the sake of demand capture, but just for the sake of reaching enough people to generate this demand. If you can make that your focus and then also the success multipliers, you will be fine. Like you will be just fine. Put out content, send enough emails, and you will be fine. I feel like there's something I was forgetting here, but we'll wrap it up there. So I think that like most people don't realize what that's going to mean and how that affects the rest of their business. It's going to cost you a lot more, right? Especially if you're doing client fulfillment as well as sending emails for yourself all under one budget, which is like the tough part for beginners. And that's usually where they crack and go under is because they don't have enough experience to charge a setup fee and they don't have money coming in. So now they got to pay the cost for themselves and their clients and and then they don't get results because, they're so focused on making their personalizations all fancy and stuff in Clay, and all this stuff costs money. And then they don't get any results because ultimately they're not sending enough emails, and they're not sending enough emails because they're just overthinking and overcomplicating the process. Dumb it down, send more emails, you'll be fine. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment. If you want to jump on a consultation with me and to see how I can help you out with your cold outbound or generating demand for your B2B service or product, the link is in the description. Other than that, see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.